Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Orange Ball Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Winter, and today is our very first episode featuring a very special guest. But first, a little bit about this show. My name, like I said, is Sam. I played basketball at Boise State University for the past 4 years. I was a walk-on, so in this podcast, we're going to be talking a lot about college basketball. We're going to be talking about sports in general and just getting some really good guests on this show, hearing stories from their experiences and also just life in general. So this first episode, we have a very special guest. His name is Max Teems. He's one of my good friends, a current Boise State GA and video coordinator for the men's basketball team, as well as a former head manager. So we're going to talk to him a little bit here about how he got to where he's at and just go back and forth on some fun stories and talk about basketball and sports. So, yeah, hope you enjoy the episode. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Spotify, Orange Ball Media. Thank you. Max Teems, how you doing?
So good. So glad to be here, Sammy.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. You're the first guest of the Orange Ball Podcast.
An honor. It's a real honor.
We had a good weekend.
True.
What did we do? Tell them what we did.
Yeah, headed out to Washington, to your home base there.
Yep.
Watched our boy Tyson throw out the first pitch of the Mariners game. Had a little fun at the lake. Mm-hmm. Great weekend for the books.
I'm so glad we stopped and watched Team USA in the gold medal match.
That was so fun.
That was insane.
Yeah, we have a little spot up at UW back from when we visited for the Boise State game last year.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Earls.
Shout out Earls. Shout out Earls. It's always done us right. We sat down. It was kind of fun. We kind of got the bar going a little bit. They were excited to have us.
There was like maybe 10 or 15 people, but it got pretty loud. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Seattle needed that patriotism a little bit.
Yeah, I started a defense chant at one point. We got them going.
Yeah. Do you think that was probably the best United States team we've ever seen in the Olympics? Or
Ooh, tough. Not in comparison to the rest of the world. Maybe it'd be interesting to see. In comparison to like the Dream Team would be the one, or the Redeem Team, I guess you could compare it to, raw talent. Mm-hmm. It's hard because it's so much closer to the rest of the world. You know what I mean? But
that's true. I just saw on Twitter the other day like an opening round of the Dream Team playing some Eastern European team and
bums.
Yeah,
plumbers.
Plumbers. They were in like practice jerseys and
right.
I think I heard a story about how one of them went up to Michael Jordan after the game and asked for a picture.
Oh,
or
for sure.
But
Different era.
Different era indeed. But so you started at Boise State as a head manager. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know how hard a manager's job is, let alone head manager.
Sure.
What is your kind of like favorite part, or why did you want to be a manager in the first place?
Great question. Going back, when I came to Boise State, I kind of had an idea that I wanted to coach. Mm-hmm. It's something I'd played in high school. I didn't really have an idea that I wanted to coach. But after my freshman year, I decided, hey, I really want to make this shift, and I want to really commit to basketball. And studying, I guess you kind of see there's a couple different paths to be a college coach. Most common would probably be player to coach. There's a ton of former players in coaching. But other than that, most of the other coaches that are in the profession were managers. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of did my research. This is what I want to do. Got connected with the staff here at Boise State, sent my credentials and made my interest known, and kind of started from the ground up. Started, you kind of start as a manager. It's a lot of rebounding, mm-hmm. a lot of laundry on the road, not super glamorous tasks, but as you kind of build up and get that credibility within a program, head manager in charge of a couple guys that also helped out under me, and it was a blast. I mean, it is hard. It's definitely hard work, and it's a job that you don't get much credit for or payment for, but it's kind of one of those stepping stone things. So, just being a part of the team, being behind the bench for some of our greatest moments over the last few years, and then just really building my personal understanding of basketball, connections within basketball. It's been quite a ride from that end.
Yeah, and then you transitioned this a couple years ago from a head manager to your now position, graduate assistant and video coordinator.
Right.
What do you think you see yourself keep going in that path where maybe your next year assistant coach or head coach, or what's next for you?
Well, God willing, yeah, I hope so. I'm finishing up my grad program this year, and my position now, it's interesting. Every staff in the country is different. I think some people might not know that in terms of how their staff's built, what positions they have. So in our program, video coordinator and graduate assistant are kind of in a combined role.
Okay.
And so I do video coordinators, like my main position. I take care of all of our film, everything like that, but also help out with just everything that goes on behind the scenes, whether that be coordinating meals, getting, things set up on the road, just a lot of different things. And so I have one more year of that, of my grad program. And then, hope to transition into more of a coaching role, trying to just get reps, just like anything else.
For sure.
Want to keep growing in that and kind of keep expanding my basketball knowledge. This transition from manager to GA and video coordinator has been awesome for me, and really excited for what's next.
Great. And if you were to give someone wants to be a manager or coach someday, or they're starting out as a manager, what advice would you give them, or what would you tell them, or what would you tell yourself if you were in your shoes as maybe a freshman or sophomore manager?
Sure. It's interesting. I think my first instinct is to say persistence, because there's going to be days where it's not going to be pretty and it's not going to be fun, and you're kind of going to have to grind through that. But also I think there's a level of, I think with anything, especially in the kind of career path that coaching is, it's kind of a select group of people. There's an amount of, you kind of have to be delusional in a certain ways. You have to have some, just like a player, you have to have kind of that self-confidence that goes far beyond your current position. So even if you're on the bench, you have to think, I could start and I could do what I need to do. And it's the same way with being a manager. It's, even though you are in that role, do it to the highest of your ability, right? Coach Rice always says, be a star in your role. And I think that's super true. But also have the belief that you can go on to do greater things. It's not just where you're at right now, but this is a stepping stone, and everything that you do now is reflective of who you are as a person. It connects you with different people in the industry. As they see you work hard, they notice that. And just be relentless and be your biggest advocate, and believe in yourself that you can continue to grow.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I like to add to that is just try to do anything you can. And you may start out folding laundry,
totally
taking the benches out during timeout, but everybody's just got to get that. You got to get your foot in the door, just doing whatever you can. And people really notice that. You may not think that people watch, but people for sure notice that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Totally.
One thing I want to talk about regarding kind of the manager position and GA is the manager games.
Hell yeah.
So if you don't know, I guess you can explain kind of what manager games are.
For sure. It's kind of this informal league. The night before most of our games, we kind of make contact with the staff from the other team, the support staff, the managers, the GAs, some of the assistant coaches. And we try to get together for a pickup game the night before. And, I've had some of the most fun times in those games. And they actually keep a ranking. And so there's a manager games Twitter page, and you kind of submit all your scores. And at the end of the year, there's a bracket. And so it's a really cool deal that's kind of grown from something super informal, but we all have a blast doing it.
Yeah. And being a walk-on, I get to play in some of those games on the road.
For sure.
Just to have bodies, and they're awesome, get to play in these famous arenas.
Totally.
Just by yourself, playing pickup, listening to music while you're doing it. But yeah, it's super serious now. We were at the Final Four in Phoenix last year.
Yeah.
And we were watching I believe it's the Elite Eight or Final Four they have. So on Twitter, the top 8 teams or 4 teams that get voted, they get to go down to Phoenix and play in the Fan Fest. So
right.
It gets pretty intense. They have refs and guys are yelling, cussing at each other. So
there's some good players out there too.
For sure. We had Lexus Williams, one of the best manager game point guards in the nation, I'd say.
He's the Kobe to my Shaq, is what I like to say.
He's definitely bailed us out in some games for sure.
But I mean, you play other teams, you don't know who you're gonna face. True. There's no scouting, right? You show up. Like, for example, we were in Orlando, and Butler was there. We didn't play a manager game, but we were a little worried because we had heard these rumors that Greg Oden was on their staff as their director of operations, and there's been times where he plays in the manager games, and I trust myself. I do have that irrational confidence in myself. I don't think I could hold up.
Hey, he might out rebound you a couple times.
A couple.
I think you could take him in the post.
I'm scrappy. I'm scrappy. You've seen that.
Facts. No, but that's super fun. Just playing around guys that you work with every day and just enjoying it. But where did my thing go? Oh yeah. So going back to your video coordinator role, you obviously watch a lot of film, are around it every day, chopping stuff up, watching recruits, and you're involved in recruiting as well. What is your best tips for incoming college freshmen or high school players wanting to get recruited, and what advice do you have for them on specifically their film and what coaches or what teams look for?
Great question. So there's a few things. I think just right off the bat, putting your film on a Twitter page that has your name on it and that has a bio of clearly who you are, it sounds simple and everybody thinks, oh, they can find me. But when coaches go and Google search you, like, you better pop up and it better be very clear who you are. After that, the actual contents of the film are super, obviously super important. If you're talented enough, that's going to show up pretty quickly. Our coaches always appreciate when your film is separated into, here's some of my playmaking, so here's some assists that I can make. How can I make my teammates better? And then also some of your scoring, right? If you're looking to be a college athlete and you're a college basketball type recruit, you're going to be able to score, right? That's kind of what gets you in the door. That's everybody across the country. If they're the best player on their team, they're going to be able to score. But showing how you kind of see the game, what your defense looks like, all those things kind of come into play in forming a more complete picture of who you are to the coaches. So yeah, I just say, organizing your social media presence, even on Instagram. A small note on that is knowing what's on your Instagram, knowing what's on your Twitter. Now that likes are hidden, I guess you're okay on that front. Yeah. But it's definitely something to consider. It's just like somebody applying for a job. You're applying for a really coveted job that's super selective, and so making sure that you're putting out exactly who you are, what you're all about, and really just crafting that image is super important.
That's good stuff. Like, if you're not a highly recruited guy, there's going to be tons of players sending film to coaches. So how are you going to stand out? How is your film going to differentiate from other people, or it's like a resume. Like, how are you going to stand out on a resume compared to hundreds of other players or applicants?
Totally. Sure. And a small note, like, a lot of people know this, but when you're sending film to coaches, I would almost promise you that no head coach at the Division I level is checking their email. Mm-hmm. So just know that. And it's usually somebody else on the staff that's checking their email. So it might get up to them eventually, but probably won't. I would start with assistants, because assistants are usually the first gateway to see, hey, coach, this person might be good enough, this player might be good enough. And so sending your film to them probably has a bigger impact. And then also, once a coach sees your film, kind of giving them actionable items, right? Hey, coach, I'm playing in this AAU tournament. Here's my schedule, and I would love you to come out and see what you see. Give me any pointers, give me anything I need to work on. And so just trying to be strategic about how you get your film out there, not just sending it to all the head coaches and saying, well, if I'm good enough, they'll see it, because they probably won't. It's all about kind of finding that right opportunity, right place, right time.
Yeah. Speaking of AAU, have you seen kind of the recent AAU, just, I don't know, trends or environments lately?
In what way? Just fans around the court, just craziness?
How, compared to 5 or 10 years ago, how different it is today.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah, I've seen, obviously there's more serious leagues than others, but if somebody gets a highlight play, everybody runs on like it's Rucker Park or something. Exactly. But it's insane.
It's wild.
Insane. But that is crazy. Yeah. So being Boise State, we're in the Mountain West.
Sure.
And obviously we traveled to all the Mountain West venues.
Yep.
This is my opinion, but I believe that out of every league in the country, the Mountain West has top to bottom the most, I don't know how you would say it, like the most different places.
There's a ton of variety for sure.
Because you're going from Laramie, Wyoming to Las Vegas, Nevada. What kind of are your favorite trips or any memories you have of going to different places or places you dislike?
I don't want to say that. I don't want to end up on a poster somewhere on a whiteboard.
Yeah.
But I think the obvious ones are obvious for a reason, right? San Diego's awesome off the court. Their arena isn't anything spectacular to me. It's super big, and their fans are really into it. But just arena specifically, I love the Pit.
Oh yeah,
the Pit's electric.
For sure.
We've had some of our most fun games there over the past few years. I have a ton of respect, and there's a lot of history there, and just fans that show out every night no matter what and are super passionate. And it's funny because that environment, that venue feels super different from the other one that I'm about to mention, which is Utah State, because it's a totally different population,
For
right?
sure.
You got dudes who've been at the bar all day. They're ready to go. They're wearing masks. They're crazy in Albuquerque. Like, they are wild. And in similar ways, the folks in Logan are wild, but it's almost scarier because they're dead sober.
Oh yeah.
They've had their chocolate milk of the day, and they do not care. They will let you have it. And when they get those chants going, and the other part that makes a good venue is they're super close to the court.
Yeah.
They are on top of you.
For sure.
And so you hear everything they say. Their student section's right here, and if you're inbound on the ball on the baseline, they can almost touch you.
Yeah.
Like, they're that close. And so the Pit and the Spectrum, the Utah State venue, those are the two that stand out to me.
Yeah, I agree. Both games were crazy, but I'll never forget the game in the Pit last year, because I think they were ranked in the top 25. I can't remember what, maybe 17 or something like that, 24. But nobody really expected us to win. I think we're 11.5-point underdogs maybe, and we just came in there and
nothing to lose.
Business. But that was probably the loudest environment. I think they opened up the game when the first or second play with a dunk.
Yeah.
And it just exploded, and kind of when that happens, you're thinking, oh, it's going to be a long night. But yeah, especially the Spectrum in Utah State, they got the gloves, so
that is crazy.
Apparently,
tell them about that. Tell them about that.
So I've always actually wondered this, because I didn't know until this last year, but they would wear like latex gloves, and first of all, the students are probably 65 to 70% of the whole arena. It's like this behind the basket all the way to mid-court. That whole section. And it's not a huge arena, but it fills up every game.
For sure.
And they wear these latex gloves because it makes them clap louder. And you're right. They're right next to you on the court. They're yelling at you, especially from where you sit as a manager and where I sit as a walk-on. We sit literally chairs away from them.
Oh, yeah.
So you can hear everything they say. Sometimes it's pretty funny, not going to lie, because they're just like... they're just yelling. They know your name, obviously. I'm sure they have the cheat sheets.
Oh, the cheat sheets are crazy.
I don't know if you've seen those, but Duke has them, and the bigger student sections do. So does Utah State. But they have like information on all the players and
ammo.
Yeah. They search up your name on Instagram and stuff, and
your girlfriend's name.
Yeah, exactly. Your sister, not to my sister, but I've heard one of our players.
Allegedly. Yeah.
One of our sister's players have been mentioned multiple times, but
yeah,
it's kind of. I know most fans do consume some alcoholic beverages before, but it's crazy the amount of fans that care so much to yell at a 20-year-old kid, like, like yell like bad things. It's insane. Like, why do you care so much?
Right.
You're here to watch us. Like, you're a fan.
That reasoning doesn't seem to get through to them on game day. But I can almost relate to it.
Yeah,
like when we're at a football game or whatever, we just you're just trying to have a good time.
Yeah, I agree. I would never yell something personal
for sure.
Or directly at a player.
There's a certain line, but also that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Like as us, it's like I would much rather go into somewhere where they care that much to be able to get honest rather than just like clapping. Okay, kind of polite. Like it's Nevada, for example. Talk about not polite. They're the opposite of polite.
Yeah, I think one of the fans actually went and touched one of our teammates.
They'll try to fight the staff after the game.
Yeah.
Like it gets bad.
Yeah, but nothing's better than going in and getting a road dub. Like,
oh my gosh.
I don't think there's anything better in sports, honestly.
That flight back, Sam. It's different.
Especially when you're out of there on a PJ. That's so much better.
We are blessed, Sam. We are blessed because even 2 years ago it wasn't like that, and just the way that our donors have supported us and made that possible, it makes such a difference.
Oh, for sure.
That night, you get that road dub. All you have to do is get through that night, and you're going to be sleeping in your own bed, recovering the next day. A road dub. It it's really just you, that unit. It's 25 people against 10,000 people.
Yep.
And that's pretty electric. It's a special feeling for sure.
I remember one time, Colorado State's another great
Truly.
venue.
Yep.
When they're good and that place is loud, it's pretty loud. But it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
We played there, and they were good. We were good as well. And it was about the second quarter. We're taking the ball down. All of a sudden, this dude from the student section comes running on the court, almost ran into one of our players.
Yeah.
Then he just ran right out.
And the refs didn't even know what to do at first. They were like, and then all of a sudden, tweet, and everybody's looking at each other like, what just happened? You'll attach the video, though, because the video is crazy.
Oh, yeah, there was a video from, I think it was their Barstool account.
Sure, yeah.
But, yeah, they knew the guy was going to do it, so they were videoing him the whole time. He comes, I think he literally tapped the security guy on the shoulder, runs through the court to the other side, and everybody's just kind of standing around like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah.
And we shot a technical.
Yeah, they got teed up.
Yeah.
They got teed up.
And we almost actually ended up winning that game. So if we would have won by one, that would have been tough for them.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, but there's a discussion of the best time zones to watch sports in.
It's a great topic.
So we're gonna make our lists. I think this might be a hot take, but in the worst time zone to watch sports is the Eastern time zone.
Ooh, I don't know, Sammy.
Here's my reason.
Sammy, have you spent much time there?
I've spent not as much, but I've spent a few weeks over my course of my life.
Sure.
But the reason why is because just how long you got to wait for things.
Sure.
Because you got to wait till 12 for NFL.
Yeah.
You have to wait till 12 for college football.
So you can sleep in?
No, maybe it's one.
Might be.
It's one for NFL. It's 12 for college. And then when you're at that night, there's still games going on at like 1 or 2 a.m. And if you're not
That's
not awake,
the good part, Sam.
if you like to go to bed early like me,
okay,
then you don't get to watch those games. But I will say it is fun, like if you're out or at a bar late at night or something.
Oh yeah.
It is nice to have games on, but compared to like the Pacific or Mountain time zone,
yeah,
you wake up, watch college football starting at 9 all the way through the end of the day. The last game runs around 11 or 12. That's just my take.
I don't know that it ends at 11 or 12 though. Like 9.
No, there's some pretty late Pac-12 games.
Pac-12 after dark. No, I hear you, but first of all, I'm a guy who likes to sleep in, so that I'm not fazed by that on that side of things. And we'll have game day starting at 10. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But I love like all time tonight. Like you get home from work and from that time until whenever you want to go to bed, as late as you want to go to bed, there's games on, and I like that.
That is true.
I don't think there's an argument to be made that it's not the best, but I don't think it's the worst.
Yeah.
Central.
What would you say your least?
Because there's certain benefits to Pacific too. Because there is the like early come home from work and games are already going. I like that part. Yeah, Central's just kind of in that awkward middle, I think, where games are going on late, but you have to wait till late. I think we're used to Mountain.
Yeah.
But I think Mountain and Central are kind of iffy. But if you can kind of build your lifestyle around it. If you're a Pacific guy, then you're up early and watching that, and you have the whole day. Or if you're a East Coast guy, you can watch it all night. I don't know. I like that part of it.
Yeah. I would honestly say, I'd say Mountain time is my number one.
Really?
Yeah, it's underrated.
Okay.
Because it's not as early as Pacific.
Yeah.
But it's also not as late.
Yeah.
And I feel like most people, Mountain time zone is probably the least populated
for sure
time zone, so most people haven't experienced that. But I'd go Mountain, Pacific, Central, Eastern.
Wow. Interesting. I'd probably go Eastern, Pacific. I think that's going to be controversial because either you like one or you like the other. But I can get around both. Eastern, Pacific, Mountain, Central. Probably my 4.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't been in the East Coast a lot, but when we were in Florida, I just remember watching because there's all the Thanksgiving basketball tournaments.
Right.
So I was trying to watch the Maui Classic or Maui Invitational, and it didn't start till like 1 a.m. And I was like, I gotta wake up early.
Hawaii is an interesting.
That is true.
They throw a wrench in it for sure.
Is true.
Anytime they put games on.
Yeah, but I love the. That's like the feast week that they call it.
So fun.
It is up there with the first and second rounds of, obviously not, it doesn't have the implications
Sure.
or the hype, but if you're a college basketball fan, like
a junkie,
you just sit there all day, eat Thanksgiving food, leftovers, and just watch basketball.
What's your leftover of choice?
I'm a big ham guy.
Okay.
You get the Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah.
And
get a little sandwich
ham,
together.
or you can heat it up. That's my favorite. How
Any
about you?
fixings on the sandwich? Or just going bun, ham?
Just going raw.
Whoa, that's crazy.
How about you?
That's interesting. I'm a huge green bean casserole guy. I don't know if you've had that in your house.
I can't say I have.
It's kind of a southern thing, I think.
Yeah.
But man, I love me some green bean casserole rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Can't beat them. Yeah, and obviously everybody loves throwing together that Sammy. I'll even throw some cranberry. What's it called? Cranberry sauce on there.
Sauce. It's good. That's good. Good little add-on.
Little combo.
Yeah. Thanksgiving tournament. You guys are going to Cayman Islands.
Cayman Islands, yes, sir.
So are you excited for that?
Swimming with some stingrays, hopefully.
Yeah, swimming with some stingrays, some dolphins. Previously, we've gone to Charleston,
Myrtle Beach.
Mm-hmm. Those have been fun. Myrtle Beach was all right. Charleston was really cool.
Charleston was electric. I loved Charleston.
Yeah. And you're from the South originally.
Yep. I grew up for a majority of my young childhood in Memphis, Tennessee. So it was, you can't beat that food.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I'm also this is a hot take, but I'm kind of a fan of the humidity as a change up. Maybe not all year, but when I get down there, it feels like, I feel moisturized. I feel good. It feels like home. But I get why people don't really rock with that.
I'm not a huge humidity guy, but
but Charleston was fun.
Yeah.
As a city, we were right downtown, so we could kind of explore a little bit. Charleston was special.
Yeah.
I get why everybody wants to move there.
Yeah. I was gonna say, where did we go last year? We went to Orlando.
That's right. That's right.
Funny story, actually. We lost our first game.
Uh-huh.
It was a tough game against Virginia Tech. They had some crazy shots.
Whew.
Sean Padilla hit that. Almost half court shot.
He was cooking.
And Hunter Couture, he was lighting us up. He's a good shooter.
Those boys are bad news.
But so we lost the first game, and then we beat VCU as the second game. And
shout out Ryan Odom.
Yeah, shout out Ryan Odom, former Utah State coach. But we all week we've been hearing these kind of rumors, like obviously it's a Disney World tournament sponsored by ESPN.
Oh yeah.
Disney World. So we're like, do we get to go to Disney World? And like when you're in Orlando with nothing else to do, like it'd be fun to do. So we didn't hear anything, like they didn't say anything to us. And then after the game, after we beat VCU, Coach Rice comes back to the bus. He's like,
we had a day off.
Yeah, we had a day off the next day.
Yeah.
So he comes back to the bus. He's like, all right, guys, here's a plan. So we have 1 day off after playing 2 games, so we need to rest up, recover. We're going to chill at the hotel. Except the scout team gets to go to Disney World. And we're like, let's go, because we didn't play, so we don't need to rest and recover. So the next day, a few guys from the scout team, a couple other managers, took a trip to Disney World.
Yep.
Went to Animal Kingdom, Epcot.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we made the right decision on Animal Kingdom and Epcot, or looking back, would you have done differently?
I want to go to Animal Kingdom because they have that roller coaster there.
Yeah, Everest, yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of the safari.
Oh,
it was all right. It was just
you hate animals?
I don't hate animals, but it's just there was no cool animals. It's just like zebras and.
Oh yeah, I hate giraffes and lions. They're the worst.
There was no lion.
Oh, they were there, Sam. They were sleeping.
Yeah,
you have to give them a break.
You couldn't see them. So
Simba was asleep.
True. Other than that, it was fun.
Yeah.
Epcot was really cool, just with all the different city or countries. Things there, but yeah. How about you?
I loved it. That was a blast. We got lucky there, kind of wrangling everybody up and getting them back in time for film that night was an adventure.
That was.
It's just such a big place, and so just trying to coordinate everything. But I had been one time before. Had you ever been?
No, I'm always going to Disneyland.
Yeah. I love it. Like for a couple of days, it's as fun as it gets. And I'd never done it as an adult. Really, it was just kid rides and stuff. But I had a blast.
Yeah. And not often you get a free trip to a Disney World. So
Yep, they took care of us.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
But I know this is mainly a college basketball podcast, but NCAA Football 25.
Ooh, speaking my language, Sammy.
Just came out about 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Uh-huh.
What are your first impressions on the game?
Wow, Sam. I wish I could lie about the hours I put in on that game, but it's.
We gotta check your Xbox history.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to do that. Man, I've had some fun on that. It's rare when something builds up for that long. You have the 10-year, 12-year hiatus, and we were all waiting for it. And even the last 4 years, we've kind of known it's coming, and it's delivered on expectations for me.
For sure.
It's the good combo of fun and realistic. You have all the teams. You have everything, all the players in there. It's been, man, I couldn't ask for more. I can't imagine how they're going to make it any better next year.
I know. I don't know. It's just going to be like Madden where they make a new game every year?
I'd assume.
Yeah.
Couple cosmetic updates, I guess, make it look a little bit better, but it looks great, man.
No, it does.
Like always growing up, my parents would come by the TV and be like, is that a real game or a video game?
Yeah.
But now it's like
It's
legit.
Yeah. The gameplay feels smooth. One of my favorite modes, Dynasty. We're in a Dynasty with some of the basketball guys. And what's your team?
The Green Wave, Sam. The Tulane Green Wave.
Tulane.
We're going through a hard time right now, but it happens. Mid-major football, it's kind of up and down, but we're building and trying to recruit, trying to get some talent down to the Big Easy. Mm-hmm. What about you?
I roll with the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky.
The Toppers.
We struggled last year.
Yeah.
Trying to rebuild right now, but it's not going too well in the second season.
Well, we've got like a big talent disparity.
That is true.
And time disparity. There's a lot of people who spend a lot of time on it at the top tier, and then we got some casuals, as they call them, at the bottom tier, and also
some ghosts.
Yeah, some ghosts. We got some ghosts and some team disparity. Because like I'll own it. Like Tulane was pretty good when I took them over. They were like 82 overall, one of the best. Because our rule was mid-major. It was no Power 5.
No, they are mid-major, and you pick whatever you want.
Thank you.
But there has been a little bit of controversy in the league.
Hey.
I'm not going to name names.
No, I will. It's Rook. It's our Rook, Julian Bowie. He just decides to go rogue on us, take a Power 5 job after 1 year.
Yep.
That totally defeats the purpose. That's against the spirit of the game, Sam.
I would say it is. I would say the goal of a college football dynasty is to rebuild not a Power 5.
These rooks, Sam, they don't understand it. They're young kids. They're of this generation. They want everything now.
They run the TikTok offense.
Yeah, he runs the TikTok offense, tries to cheese us every. And I'm not rocking with it.
And there's been some other players in the league that just
spam the same play.
Spam the same plays. We had to implement a new rule where you can't spam the same play.
Yeah, it's a good rule, but it adds some complications to some of those players.
Yeah, but it's been fun overall.
Such a blast.
Recruiting and all that.
Oh, yeah. That's the part that I was excited about going in. But there's days now where I feel like I have two jobs. I recruit and I do my job in the office. I'm looking at players all day, and I go home and I'm like, shoot, I gotta refresh this recruiting board now. It's pretty fun.
You're doing it in two lives.
Yeah, I'm a two-sport coach.
Two-sport coach. So 2030, NCAA 30 comes out for the Xbox.
Wow. Okay.
NCAA basketball 30.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, NCAA basketball 30 comes out. Yeah. What team, top 3 teams you're going to rebuild to take to the Final Four?
Ooh, and same rules that we currently use?
Yes, same rules. I guess there's a lot more teams you can pick from.
Yeah. Let's see. So we're talking.
Let's go one like mid-major, one low major.
Okay. First one I can think of is USD, University of San Diego.
Okay.
They got great colors, great place. Can recruit down there. Mm-hmm. I'd rebuild there.
I like that.
Let's see. So that's my mid major.
Yes.
I need a super low.
Low major. I think for my mid major, I'm taking the mighty Pacific Tigers.
Hey, shout out Burke Smith.
You know they're in a good league.
True.
With the WCC, they can compete with Gonzaga, or they will be able to with my league.
With your leadership, yeah.
They're in Stockton. It's an interesting place.
You can tell the truth, Sam.
It's not the most glamorous place, but they got the orange and black colorway.
Yeah.
I just heard that they switched to. Actually, I don't know.
Huh.
Maybe they just got new uniforms. I was gonna say they switched to Nike, but I think they're still.
They have been.
Oh,
yeah,
they
yeah.
have? Okay.
I think.
Okay, so yeah, got that going.
Got to have a Nike school.
Yeah, that was my.
That's a qualifier.
When I was looking at teams on NCAA football, I was like, Under Armour, nah.
No, we're not doing that.
What about for your low major?
This might be a surprise for you, but I'm gonna go get my Fins.
I do.
I'm
You're
gonna
say that.
go get my Jacksonville Dolphins. We're
Yep,
gonna rise up the A, son. Shout out to Coach Mincy and the boys down there in Jacksonville.
Yeah, you spent a little bit of time out there working with Nova legend Chris Jenkins.
That's right. That's right. We had a couple good weeks. It was kind of a weird deal, but kind of came down. Was looking for a workout guy. I was there and was lucky enough to put him through a couple weeks worth of workouts. The best dude, you know, for somebody. Chris Jenkins is, as I'm sure the audience knows, hit the biggest shot in March Madness history, winning the championship for Villanova. But just the most humble, down to earth, nice guy. Couldn't speak more highly of him, and you can see by his work the reason why he, you do all that to put yourself in positions to be successful, and that was him for sure.
Yeah, that's one thing about the position you're in. You get to meet a lot of cool people.
Yeah,
work with a lot of people. Is there anybody else that kind of stood out to you that you've always obviously you've seen Chris Jenkins before, but anybody that you got to meet that's been really cool?
Comes to mind when I was a manager, my first year, I got a text from one of our assistants, Coach Barsh, and he said, "Hey, I got this guy coming in to work out. Will you be there?" I was like, "Yeah, cool." Didn't tell me who it was. Day comes, I'm like, "Hey, Coach, am I still?" He's like, "Yep, he's coming in. Here's his number." Sends me his contact, just 2 letters, IT. I was like, "Okay, that's weird." I'm like, IT. That must be his nickname or something. And I show up to the gym, and Isaiah Thomas gets out of his Escalade. And, at that time, he just fresh off of his Celtics run. He was doing it all and still is, still grinding. Slow grind is, I think, his
slow grind.
His tag. But just got to see his work up close, rebound for him, kind of help him out for the day. That sticks out to me. It's just some of those basketball world. It's so small. And you run across people that you would have no idea that you would otherwise.
Yeah, that's really cool. I've heard he's a great guy. And
yeah.
Tacoma guy.
Yeah. Washington legend.
Yeah, Washington legend, Curtis High School. I've always been a Celtics fan before they were.
Oh, yeah.
Before this year.
Yeah, okay. So
yeah. But
ring chasing.
Yeah. But watching him, he was king of fourth quarter. That's what they call him. Fourth quarter legend. He was crazy good. And he still is, and he's just looking for a spot.
Yeah.
Looking for opportunity. He was with the Suns last year for their playoff run, but
I don't know how somebody doesn't want him on their team.
He's raw.
Yeah.
So coming up, we got obviously football season's kind of in full swing right now.
Yep.
College basketball isn't really talked about that much, but coming up, new season. What are your expectations, or what are you most excited for? Not only for Boise State, but just the year in general.
I mean, first of all, for our team, I think we're just hitting our stride. We're 3 straight NCAA berths, and just growing in that way, kind of becoming more of the hunted than the hunter now, and that's exciting for us. Have a ton new talent, new faces. We got, I think, 4 returners is it.
Wow.
But key guys that are returning, and then just awesome additions across the board. So I'm excited about that. College basketball as a whole, you kind of get into these dog days of summer, and there's some nights where I got to pull up the YouTube and just remind myself, that's what a full gym looks like. That's the energy of it. That's what we do it for. It's not just these long days of empty gyms and just putting up shots, and that's all important and part of the grind and part of the process. But it helps to remind yourself every once in a while, this is pretty cool. And I mean, this, people who've been to our games and games across the country know this, the goosebump feeling when you walk into a gym when the team comes out first, and it's pretty unmatched, and we're super lucky to do what we do. Yeah,
I'd agree. I was super fortunate to be in that position, and nothing's better than running out on the court and crowds cheering, or on the opposite side of the spectrum, running out and the crowds booing at you.
Love that.
I know you love to get the crowd hyped up, as we saw this last year. But
yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing better than that. And like you said, being able to go to 3 March Madnesses, 3 NCAA tournaments. I'm not gonna lie, we probably had the worst 3 locations we could have imagined.
Portland's fun.
It is, but like compared to the other cities we could have gone.
Sure.
We went to Portland the first year. I mean, if you've never been to Portland, it's not the cleanest city. It's a cooler
Yeah.
spot because it's the Moda Center where
Right.
the Blazers play.
Right.
But it is a little sketchy downtown. A lot of tents and
Yeah. You don't feel
People-
safe down
yeah.
there, Sam?
not. I mean, I don't know, but no. But it's been a cool experience, and just being able to like be in part of. I know for me, I would have never thought I would have been a part of a NCAA tournament team. Got to from when I was watching as a kid
For sure.
to be part of it. But did you ever have like a moment where you're like, wow, we're actually here right now? Like,
Yeah. I'm trying to think back because we had Portland and then we had
Stockton, or not Stockton, Sacramento.
Sacramento. That's right.
Which also,
Huge
There-
arena.
yeah, the
really
arena
cool.
the Kings Arena is beautiful.
Yeah. Sacramento might not be my next vacation
No,
spot.
no.
But it was
There's other better places in California.
yeah. Honestly, like however we felt about getting sent to Dayton this year in the first 4, that arena is really cool.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
set up really cool, and there was a definite vibe in the arena.
Yeah,
like
for
it
sure.
was you felt that tension and that, anxiety of it, and I loved it. Obviously didn't work out the way we wanted it to, but you can't ever apologize for going into a game and competing like
No.
that, and just keep getting at bats, and eventually one will poke out of the park, I think.
Yeah, Dayton's awesome because it's just like probably 20%, 30% of people are fans of the teams playing, but
Right.
everybody else is just people who love basketball.
Just hoops fans, yeah.
From Dayton, and they do a great job. They take pride in having the first 4 every year. We come in, there's signs everywhere. The hotel is there's your colors and logos out there, and
Yeah.
it was definitely really cool despite being first 4 and
Yeah.
all that. But so a lot of people might not know is you are a part-time ref, like a basketball official. How'd you get into that?
Well, don't tell our team I'm part-time. To them, I'm
True,
full-time.
True. we can get into that.
We can't give them any ammo. But no, I kind of got into it. Actually, at a high school, I was lucky. One of my buddy's dads kind of runs the refs around here, and he took us out on the outdoor court outside their house and kind of showed me the ropes. Here's your positioning. Here's what you're looking for. Kind of threw me to the wolves with some AAU tournaments. That's kind of how you get into it. But yeah, became a high school ref from there, and I had no idea that I would enjoy it or continue doing it for either the money or just for enjoying it. But I've had such a good time. It really allows me to be a part of the local hoop scene and kind of get to know people, see people, meet coaches, and that sort of thing, and be in awesome gyms with awesome environments, and also just great exercise and be out there and be a part of the game and help. As a ref, you never want to be a part of the game in that way, but also, helping to make sure the game goes how it's supposed to go and it's played the right way. And, I've loved it. Obviously kind of pulled the short straw and having to ref our practices, but that's made me a better ref too.
True. I know. I feel bad for you because obviously
You're always the one who's giving me crap.
Oh yeah, sure. I honestly have said some things to you, just as a joke though, because it's like we're buddies and stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I do feel bad for you because obviously the guys know you and stuff, and so they feel like they can let it all out on you and cuss you out and yell at you. And
Hey, I'm pretty quick with that T now.
You
though.
are.
I've turned the corner. I'm no nonsense.
yeah, but that's good. You can't let those guys push you
I'm
around.
Tony Padilla out there in the practice court, letting it rip.
Shout out Tony Padilla. But I think that's all we got. But I appreciate you coming on. Great conversation. I know we could have talked for many hours longer, but
For sure.
yeah. But anything else? Final words you want to say to the people?
No, it's been an honor, Sammy.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this thing grows. Thanks for having me on, and looking forward to seeing people at our games this year. If you're in town or out of town, hopefully you're watching us on TV. We're a fun team to watch, and just appreciate everybody taking the time to hear what we got to say.
For sure. If you're a Boise State basketball fan watching this, I highly recommend watching or at least trying to get to a game. They're super fun, and especially this year, it's going to be really good.
And come say hi.
Come say hi.
Yeah.
I'll probably be in the stands. Teams will be down there, and we'll definitely have you on for part 2 in the next few months, maybe
Easily.
mid-season. But yeah, appreciate it.
All right, Sammy.